Have you ever looked at a painting and felt like it was looking back at you? Amid the soft light and quiet of the 15th century room, a couple stood holding hands, solemn faces, deep eyes. Behind them, a small round mirror reflected two strange figures, as if someone were witnessing the ceremony. And on the wall the words appeared, "Jan van Eyck was here, 1434. The Arnolfini portrait, a painting that seemed to capture only a moment of everyday life, but for nearly 600 years it has been a source of endless debate in the art world. Is this a wedding portrait, recording a sacred vow of love? Or is it a mysterious ritual, a promise to the departed soul? Is the woman in the painting really pregnant, or just lifting her skirt in an ancient ritual? And in that mirror, who is that person silently watching? In this video, join me as we open the door of time, step into a small room in Bruges in 1434, where every ray of light, every shadow, every object in the painting whispers a secret about love, life, and death. In the heart of the prosperous 15th century city of Bruges, a small room bathed in dim light, a man in a brown velvet cloak and a woman in a turquoise dress stand, holding hands. They neither smile nor speak. Only a solemn silence pervades the scene. It is the moment that the Dutch master Jan van Eyck immortalized in his 1434 masterpiece, the Arnolfini portrait. But what makes this painting so iconic is not just its lighting technique or its exquisite detail, but the secrets it hides. The couple in the painting is believed to be Giovanni di Niccolao Arnolfini, a wealthy Italian merchant, and his wife, Giovanna Cinami. Many believe that this is a wedding portrait, capturing the moment they exchanged their marriage vows. Vows before God, and possibly before the dead. But the closer one looks, the more unusual the details in the painting become. The woman puts her hand on her belly. She looks pregnant. However, in the culture of that time, it was just a way to show modesty and gentleness. On the table is an orange, a symbol of wealth and purity. A small dog at her feet, a symbol of loyalty. And on the wall, a strange inscription appears. Jan van Eyck fuit hic. Jan van Eyck was here. Was the artist simply signing his work? Or was he confirming that he was a witness to a sacred ritual, an oath, a covenant, perhaps between the living and the dead? Behind its quiet beauty, the painting seems to hide the breath of a soul, a story that has never been told. When you look closely at Jan van Eyck's The Arnolfini portrait, 1434, there's a small but powerful detail, the convex mirror hanging behind the couple. First of all, the mirror reflects the two figures standing in the doorway. If one of them is Jan van Eyck himself, he's made himself a witness to that oath. But then one discovers that on the rim of the mirror, there are small roundels, each circle depicting scenes from Jesus Christ, half from his life, half from his passion and resurrection. Notably, the passion scenes appear on the woman's side of the painting. So what is the mirror itself doing? Some scholars believe it is the eye of God, the place where God watches over the couple's vows, a sacred sign of the covenant. On the other hand, there is a theory that this is more than just a wedding portrait. Since there is no fireplace, the space does not resemble a wedding bedroom. The woman is painted as dead. That is, the painting has a memorial function. The mirror reminds the viewer that it is not only what you see in front of you that is real. There is also something you cannot see, standing behind you, watching you. It makes the viewer wonder, am I just an observer of the painting, or am I also a witness to an immortal oath? Then you look more closely. In the mirror, two small silhouettes. The scene in the room seems reasonable but a bit paradoxical. The ceiling is a bit low. The table is a bit long. This irregularity seems to tell us that not everything is as it seems, and light, shadow, reflection, all contain messages for those who know how to see. So, when you come to the mirror in the painting, remember to stop. The soul of the painting is not just in the fur, the puffy skirt, or the orange. It is in the mirror's eyes, reading the oath, recording a covenant, and perhaps recording time.
If there is one thing that makes the Arnolfini portrait timeless, it is the light. The light in the painting not only illuminates a room, but seems to tell an invisible story. A story of life, death, and faith. Notice how the light filters through the window on the left, illuminating the woman, making her skin appear translucent, almost luminous. Meanwhile, the man stands largely in shadow. Some scholars have suggested that the light symbolizes purity, the soul, and heaven, while the darkness symbolizes the mundane, material, and the loneliness of the person left behind. When combined, these two halves of light and dark create a parallel world, where the living and the dead coexist in the same frame. Every detail in the painting is a religious symbol, or a subtle metaphor. The small dog at their feet, often thought to be a symbol of loyalty, but can also refer to a companion to the afterlife. The large bed in the background, not only a piece of furniture, but also a symbol of birth, the beginning and end of human life. The orange on the table, a strange detail because it rarely appears in Northern Europe, is a symbol of prohibition and sin, reminiscent of the forbidden fruit in the Garden of Eden. All blends in the shimmering light that Van Eyck depicts with the most pioneering oil painting technique of the time. Each layer of paint, each streak of light feels like it hides a soul, a breath of the past. As if we just look a little longer, we will see someone in the painting, blinking in response. Perhaps Van Eyck did not want to paint just a couple, but a ritual covenant between two worlds, sealed forever in eternal light. In the quiet space of the room, the most eye-catching point is not the light, not the gorgeous costumes, but the two characters' clasped hands. A small gesture, but it contains the deepest mystery in the entire painting, the Arnolfini portrait. The man, Giovanni Arnolfini, raises his right hand, gently grasping the woman's left hand. At first glance, it is an act of exchanging marriage vows, but if you look closely, their positions are somewhat unusual. He stands firmly, occupying more of the light and shadow, while the woman bows her head slightly, as if receiving or giving away her soul. Many scholars believe this is a 15th century Flemish wedding ceremony, where the couple holds hands to make their vows before God. However, recent research has revealed a more chilling theory. This is not a wedding, but a farewell. The woman in the painting, possibly Costanza Trenta, Arnolfini's first wife, died in childbirth. Van Eyck, with delicacy and reverence, depicts her as a spirit to perform the final farewell ceremony with her husband. Those hands, therefore, are not just held in love, but are the final link between two worlds. The room was no longer a living space, but a sacred altar. The light fell on their hands, a strange, soft, dewy light, like a blessing from above, or the last glance of the deceased. Some believe that Van Eyck had cleverly hidden himself in the mirror, like a witness or a mourner. The handshake between Arnolfini and his wife, therefore, may not have been a vow of forever together, but a vow, though death do us part, our souls will forever be together. A beautiful oath? Or an immortal curse? No one knows for sure. All we know is that, nearly 600 years later, those hands are still together, in a painting that never sleeps. Nearly 6 centuries have passed since Jan van Eyck completed the Arnolfini portrait in 1434, but its appeal has never faded. Each generation, each scholar, each art connoisseur sees a different story in those still eyes. And strangely, the painting always seems to respond to the viewer with absolute silence, as if holding a secret that must never be told. Some believe this is the first wedding portrait in the history of Western painting, where love is celebrated through art. But others insist it is a memorial for the deceased, a ritual sealed in the space of painting, where time is frozen forever. What makes the painting immortal is not just Van Eyck's mastery of the technique. He was the first master to use oil paint infused with light crystals, bringing every fiber and every speck of dust to life. But also the way he encoded spirituality into every detail. Each object, from the mirror, the shoes, the extinguished candle, to the puppy, is imbued with a profound meaning, making the Arnolfini portrait a visual scripture. There is also a theory that the painting contains a forbidden religious message, and that Van Eyck himself used art to hide his beliefs in the thin layer of paint. The circular mirror is a symbol of God, reflecting all souls, and the clasped hands represent the covenant between humans and the Supreme Being. Today, standing before the painting in the National Gallery, London, many say they feel a gaze following them. Not necessarily that of the figure in the painting, but rather that of Van Eyck himself. A gentle reminder, art never dies. It only transforms into something eternal. And perhaps that is why the Arnolfini portrait still captivates the world. Because behind that layer of quiet color, there is a vow, a soul, and a mystery that has never been put to rest.